Hi, everybody. I'm Anoshe Overington from Stillness in Yoga, and I invited here Krishna Prem, who is at the moment in Amsterdam and who's going to come to Doorn in a week, exactly, on a Saturday, isn't it, Krishna Prem, on the 30th of March, to do a
Great.
play workshop with Nigan, my husband. And yeah, I think I've known Krishna Prem for years. I remember we got closer in Byron Bay when you were there with one of your beloveds, spending a couple of months in Suffolk Park. That's where I really got to know you better, Krishna Prem.
Very good.
But, of course, you're a legend in the Osho world, so of course I knew already much longer about you. And yeah, Krishna Prem, you know what I always have wanted to ask you? Now
Go
we're
ahead.
sitting together. Is like what I love about you is like you're so relaxed about life, and you can you yeah, you solve everything with some great sense of humor, which my husband has as well. I have a bit less of that, but I always wanted to ask you, when before you met Osho, were you always like that already? Or was it something that Osho put it inside of you, or was it already always there and he just read that seed of you so well?
That's a great question because basically how life starts is at one point in your life you have to ask yourself, who am I? And for me that started late in life because I had such a nice beginning, loving my parents, loving my culture, loving everything about my life in America. And then one day um, it came tumbling down. I was invited to a war in Vietnam and I studied the enemy and I didn't want to fight him. I wanted to fight myself. I was upset that I could pick a fight like that. And the first time I said no, I basically have a nervous breakdown because you in America at least I was brought up to say yes. And when I met my no, which was so intelligent, I knew that I had to change my life. And when
Mhm.
you need to change your life, you can either meditate or you can move. And I had never heard of meditation, so I began to move. And I moved to England where I got a job managing a hotel. And there I met people from India, the hippies coming back from India. I'm a
Mhm.
little older than most of our audience, and I was in England with the Beatles, and I was in England with the hippies. And at that point, they had lifetime visas for India. And I always did laugh, but I laughed at a joke. I
Mhm.
didn't I wasn't laughing at life. I was laughing at how life doesn't work. And when I
Mhm.
met these young people coming back from India, they were laughing at life. And I said, this is ahead of me. That these kids have something to teach me. I am going to India. I want to laugh at life, not because I slipped on a banana peel, but because it's funny. And the beauty of your question is when I met Osho, he said
Mhm.
to me very simply, I wake up laughing, I go to bed laughing. I don't need to hear a joke. I find life extremely funny. And he said, but I noticed you only laugh when I tell a joke. So please look more into your life to see that life is a cosmic joke, that the only thing serious about life is your ego. And you seem to have a lot of it, Krishna Prem. So I want you to really watch. Did you laugh because life is alive and vulnerable? Or did you laugh because life is not working? And instead of looking at what's not working, look at what is working, which is your love, your vulnerability, your sense of freedom and justice, your love of your friends and community. And I started to focus more on the positive things again.
Mhm.
And basically what Osho said is always remember one thing. The revolution is inside of yourself. And so at that point the US Army was no longer inside of me. It was outside of me. My girlfriends were no longer inside of me. They were outside of me. And I was able to look at me and able to fight with me and also to make love with me. And I ended up through the process of meditation, through the process of screaming and dancing before I meditated, I was able to begin to laugh at myself. So, yes, I always had a sense of humor, but now my sense of humor is a sense of reality, of life, of joy. saying thank you, instead of fuck you, excuse my language. You know, we have to get to the thank you for this lifetime, and that requires being real. It's not so easy to be real when all we know is how to be unreal. All we've been taught is how. When you were in high school, did they say, let's take a course in trust? When you were in college, did they say, let's take a course in love? We're only prepared to be human doers. None of us have been prepared to be human beings. And for me, I'm now a human being that can do something. I'm not a human doer that bees on the weekend, takes the weekend off. I'm a human being 7 days a week, and I work. But the work is more funny than it used to be because it's no longer who I am. I'm not identified with working. I am a human being that loves to participate in this lifetime. You know,
Hmm.
I know it sounds crazy,
No,
but
that sounds very well said. How you
yeah,
said it.
yeah.
Participate in lifetime.
In order to get to who you are, you have to learn to laugh at yourself, and you also have to learn to laugh at your pain. When I say laugh at yourself, because sometimes that pain is simply your ego making a lot of noise. You
Hmm.
know, Instead of you making love and having an ego that protects you, sometimes Osho called it hats. I have a hat that I'm a man. I have a hat that I have a girlfriend. I have a hat that I have a job. But these are all hats. They're not who I am. And he said, remember to take a shower so that you. The nice thing about showers is that hats melt in the shower. So you end up being naked again. So in between every activity, in between waking up and in between going to work, I take a shower and take a hat off before I put another hat on. You know, if you want to get tired, just keep all your hats on at once, and you'll walk around exhausted. You need to be naked between every two activities, and that nakedness is a great definition of meditation, and that's what we would be doing when we're together: is taking off our hats. Being naked, being vulnerable, and remembering to put your hat back on when you need to. You know, for example, you're a mother. If you kiss Nagam as a mother, he'll know that you don't love him. But if you take your mother hat off and put your lover hat on, then he'll say, my God, she does love me. So we have to watch out to make sure we're wearing the right hat for the right moment. And then once in a while you get naked together. That's fun too. But more important is being yourself. Not making love is wonderful, but being in love is much bigger.
Hmm.
It takes a long time to. Sometimes we make mistakes in order to fall in love.
Yeah.
What to say.
Yay.
I'm
And
looking at you instead of
how
the
was the
green
moment
light.
for you? Sorry?
I'm looking at you instead of the green light. I hope you're. I'm
I'm
used.
looking at it all. I'm looking at the green light too.
I should look at the green light, but you're much prettier than my green light on my Apple computer. I can tell you that. Good. Yeah, it's fun. You look great, by the way.
May I ask, was remembering just a moment myself when I decided to take sannyas.
Yeah,
But the moment I took Sanya was just when Osho had left the body. So I think you've been one of the lucky ones to have
yeah,
been with Osho when he was alive. And
yeah.
I just missed that with a couple of months. Yeah, can you say something about that moment? That
I have goosebumps
how that
still.
was for you to be really taking sannyas from him?
45 years later, I still get goosebumps. And I think, you know, for me, was it spiritual? No, it was humbling. It was humbling to meet a man that had
Mm,
female qualities. It was humbling to meet a man that could beat me up without beating me up. You know,
yeah,
so often in my life as a man, you meet a football coach and he tackles you, and you meet a college professor and he's smarter than you. When you meet an Osho, he's saying, grow up. I want to play with you. Like right now, you don't even deserve to be with me. I want you to grow up so that we can have fun. I don't want to grow down to be in your life. I want you to grow up and be with me. And it's a question of becoming mature. It's a question of walking the walk. I mean, I don't know what to say. I don't know why I like myself so much. I'm a failure when it comes to the world, but when in terms of my inner world, I'm in absolute delight because I know by being with Osho that I'm existence appearing as a man. You know, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not a man looking for existence anymore. You know, in my generation, Ramdas said, love, serve, remember. So it's not love, serve, and find out. You're not going to find out anything, but you can remember who you are. And once you remember who you are, in that very moment, you're enlightened. In that very moment, there's no such thing as time. So even if you're 95 and you have that moment called thank you, it was worth all 94 painful years. So we need to get over our pain. And when I met Osho, I immediately began to feel the pain leaving my body, you know, and I immediately remember love entering my body. And it's still big, you know, it still takes years to be comfortable with love, you know. It's so much easier to be so much easier to be comfortable with pain.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Yeah.
So how do you be comfortable with love, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
you know, when I see everybody, you know, Sadie at your place, it doesn't make a difference to me if one person comes or 100 people come because I share whatever I can. And my sharing is that God, I don't even know what to say. It's just fun to share, you know. Meditation means to be alone, but for me, when I'm alone with other people, that's ecstasy. You know, I become ecstatic sharing with new people what I know and what I want them to begin to feel. And
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes, I teach people that are more alive than I am. It's so cute. It's so cute. I don't know what to say about that, except that my life is about sharing meditation, and uh, and I'm just an idiot, you know. I mean, I often laugh because Osho gave me everything that we're going to do together next Saturday came from Osho directly on what he wanted me to teach, and it hasn't changed in 45 years. It's gotten richer because I'm richer. It's gotten deeper because I'm deeper. But the Osho gave me an outline for my life, but he would never fill in the blanks. That's up to me. So when
Mm-hmm.
you meet the master, if he tells you something, you know that he doesn't know anything. If he says Krishna Prem, you know, fill in the blanks. For me, that requires, you know, growing up. You know, growing in. I don't, up might be the wrong word. You know, what we're going to learn together is we're built like a thermometer. You know, most people live in their head, fall into their heart, never understanding the horror. You know? So for me, sex is a fire that allows the horror to wake up. You, the energy moves into your heart, and then you can either speak of love or speak of meditation. It doesn't make a difference. It depends on who you are. But it's always true that if you live in the head, you're going to uh, feel heavy. You're going to fall asleep. You're not going to enjoy this lifetime. If you come from who you are and it moves through the heart into either love or meditation, you it's ecstasy. You're weightless. It's really fun. And when you teach yoga, really you're teaching, you know, how to relax in meditation. You
Mm-hmm.
know, the more the more you participate in yoga, the easier it is to meditate. The problem right now in the West is we would rather look good than be good. You know, you know, and by the way, the real winner is the one that looks good and be's good at the same time. You know, and that's why all of a sudden in yoga you see the light come through someone's eyes. You know? How did that happen? Because they feel good about themselves. But then, as quickly as you can, you need to let go of why you took a yoga class into it's just very good for my body. My body is my temple, you know, and even though in meditation we learn I am not my body, that does not mean to be a slob. It means I have a temple and I need to take very good care of it so that I can relax even more.
Yeah, it has been, it's still quite a confusion in the West, how in the yoga studios we're focusing very much on just the body, and it hasn't
And
reached not everywhere to understand who you truly are. So maybe that brings us to a last question. Like, how do you feel then the difference inside yourself? Not you're not the man who comes into a yoga studio for yoga, but
Yeah.
just like, how does it feel for you the meditation in the marketplace compared to being alone? You said something about love and meditation. They're the same thing.
Well, I see. I know that we are enlightened pretending to be asleep. It's not the opposite. We don't need to get enlightened. We need to wake up to our own enlightenment. And I love the kids that are doing yoga. And when the kids see me, they love me because they know that I'm not a yoga teacher. I'm the furthest thing in the world from a yoga teacher. But when they see that I'm not competing with them, when they can see I'm celebrating that they're in their bodies, I just want them not to be so attached to their bodies. I love that they're in their heart, but I don't want them to be attached to the heart. So I'm teaching nothing at all, but that nothingness that I teach comes from a big silence that's so big it's almost noisy. I have to share. I don't even have a choice. But what my gift is that I love the person that I'm teaching. And I think Anasha, from teaching yoga for so many years, there's a great expression: when one person teaches, two people learn. You know,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
when I teach, I learn so much. Sometimes I have to take notes about what I speak about because it's so new, it's so fresh, because it's a reflection of the student in front of me. You know,
No,
so
absolutely.
I'm
Yeah.
looking forward. And by the way, I'm so glad. I mean, I'm coming anyway. I want to see you, and of course, I. One of the reasons I'm coming is I had a peak experience this lifetime singing with Nigam. You know, didn't
Yeah, well, it'll be so much fun to have you two both in the same room. I'm looking forward to it.
I mean, even if I get a couple of songs out of that guy, I mean, I just love singing with an old friend, and I know most of the people are probably going to be women at our group, but I just read an article that in England, the reason people go to football games first is for football, and second is to sing together, because men are so afraid to sing together. It feels too feminine for most men. So for me, singing with Nagam, I won't tell anybody, but I turn into a little girl having a great time. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
I'm looking forward to that. And I saw actually some men have signed up for
Whoa!
sure.
I really
So,
hope, because men are exhausted. They really, really need meditation and yoga. Women are so full of energy, they need the marketplace. So somewhere we have to find that balance between being a man and being a woman. I know that I have female energy, and of course, it tilts to the man, and I know that you have male energy, and it tilts to the woman, and that's what makes it fun. That's what makes it fun. How to find balance. By the way,
absolutely.
how
You
do I
need
find balance?
female
And
perspective.
yeah,
Yeah.
how does Anosha find balance? It's good. It's going to be great to be together, and it's 3 or 4 hours of
3
meditation,
hours or something. Yeah, we're
yeah,
gonna.
and
Yeah,
story,
we're gonna have a play workshop from you, I think it was, and some chanting and some little bit of silent sitting.
and everybody gets a free copy of my book too, which cost $40 on
Yeah, or
Amazon.
something. Krishna Prem.
It's fun. I look forward. I look forward.
Okay. So
Mm.
yeah, we're talking about this play workshop in the Druivenkas in Doorn. It's just 8 minutes from the central station in Utrecht. We pick you up from the station if you want to come. So it's not that scary to leave Amsterdam, and it's in the middle of the forest. And
Ooh,
when you
ooh.
lay in the Druivenkas, the trees are above you. So I think you have to. There's no sounds of cars, just of owls and other birds in the night. The moon will be just down. We had last week great yoga classes under the full moon in the glass house. We put all the lights out. It's fantastic. But I'm looking forward to share that place with you and share Krishna Prem and Igam. So you can go to stillnessinyoga.com and see the event. And you can, if you want to come, you can buy the event online. So thank you, Krishna Prem.
Thank you. Thank you.
Get to
Thank
see you soon live.
you. Yeah, I'm
It was
still
great.
alive. I'll be alive until Sunday. So Saturday's going to happen for sure.
Okay.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Bye, everybody.
Big kiss.